This is Sarah Mikesell, and today we're here with Steve Rao. He is the CEO of Farm Market ID. Thanks for being with us today, Steve.
Nice to be with you, Sarah.
Very good. Tell me a little bit about what makes your data unique.
Well, maybe it's probably easier to describe kind of how we build the data, and I think it will be pretty obvious how it's unique. So our data is built literally at the field level. It starts at quarter acre increments, and we build it up from quarter acre increments all the way to over 900 million acres. And each one of those quarter acres are intersected with our farm field boundaries. We have 34 million farm field boundaries connected to over 2 million growers. And we track each one of those growers and each one of those fields over a 10-year history. So you can see it's very much built in the bottoms up, but it covers nearly the entire U.S. So it really allows for different use cases, from a kind of a bird's eye view down to a very tactical view, grower by grower.
And what do you cover really from a crop standpoint and acreage and things like that?
Well, we cover nearly all crops. There's 200 different crop varieties that we cover, from specialty crops and fruits and veggies to kind of the broad acre corn, soy, wheat, cotton. Overall, we're covering about 95% of all acres. And when I say cover, meaning we know the acres, we know where they are, where the crop is, and who owns and operates that. So it's about 95% of the entire crop area. We also do have pretty good coverage in beef and dairy.
And what is it about the uniqueness of the data and your coverage that really comes together that makes that? Why is that important for your customer?
Well, a couple things. One is, so this data is not surveyed. It's objective by its very sourcing, because we don't collect it from a survey. We don't collect it from growers. It's not self-reported. This is from USDA and remote sensing satellite imagery. So it is very objective in its very sourcing. I think the things that really make it very different in terms of application is because we can look at the entire market and assign dollars and help with some of those strategic decision making, and you can drive all those down to very tactical farm level decisions.
Very good. And how are customers using the data? This the unique data that you're putting out. How are they using it?
Yeah. Well, it might be easiest to describe how they're not using it, and I always make it really clear. We are not trying to solve the agronomy problem, right?
Okay.
So we are not getting into anything prescriptive or field recommendations or variable rate. What we're trying to do is really empower agribusiness to make better decisions, strategic decisions, marketing decisions, connecting with grower decisions to better understand and better serve the grower's needs. So, when you put it within those kind of categories, there's a myriad of different things. We've seen it used in M&A and where to expand your footprint and your locations. We're doing a lot of work these days in market share and wallet share to help companies figure out where they may be able to grow. Should they be focused on selling more to their current customers, or finding a new customer or a new market, or introducing a new product? So we're seeing a lot of growth in that, probably because of all the transformation that's going on in the industry. But very bread and butter use cases are also salespeople in the field, and they need to know who farms that, and what do I need to know about that farm to be able to connect to the farmer, rather than go in and say, dear Mr. Farmer, tell me about your farm. I suspect they have more important things to do than give them a whole history of their farm. So now the salesperson can come armed with some background knowledge to know who's farming, what they're farming, the history of that farm, to be more effective at their sales, and of course marketing.
Right. It sounds like it allows the farmer or grower or producer to go right to the problem and
Right.
not have to start with the basics,
Right,
right?
right. Yeah, I mean, and we're always very clear not to go down to the farm field level to make the recommendations. What we can do is enable them to identify where they can help and where
Right.
they can make a difference. And I think it's probably the use case of big data that's so most often overlooked in this industry. Everyone wants to focus purely and solely on precision ag, which is an important area. It
Right.
absolutely is. But it's not the only use of data and information technology. And I think this is an industry that needs business process improvement empowered by information technology to increase the speed and velocity of decision making, the accuracy and the correctness of decision making, and to help the channel better understand the grower and their needs. And their needs are changing, particularly in a time of really depressed commodity prices, a lot of technological disruption, business process disruption. So I think it really is important that the agribusinesses are better able to connect and understand the grower. And I think that'll be an important differentiator of their future success.
Very
Hopefully
good.
we'll be part of it.
And this data is, when we talk about the uniqueness of the data, I know we've talked, and it's there's more coming, as we've talked about. That's there's more information that's going to be available. It's an evergreen environment,
Yeah.
right?
No, we never run out of sources of data, and I think now we counted, we had 95 septillion data points, which is a whole bunch. I think it's 25 zeros after the 95, but that was as of, I guess, this year. But we're bringing in a lot more because we're really starting to bring in a lot more satellite imagery to identify real-time insights, to help the channel understand when a farmer may be in need. They may be in need when there's been severe weather. They've bought or sold farmland. They've seen some vegetative anomalies, things like that can help the the agribusiness know when to contact, when to help, when to potentially remediate an issue or manage risk or whatever. There's lots of different actions, but the farmer doesn't need agribusiness at their doorstep every day, but sometimes they need them, and they need them now. And I think we want to bring the importance of time into this process, and that brings in quite a lot of data, because we're talking about weather data, we're talking about real estate transactions, we're talking about imagery, which is revisited every week. So, and what we find is when we bring in new data against our 34 million fields, the quarter acre increments of 2 million farmers, every piece grows exponentially. So we're coming up with new techniques and using new technologies to manage some of this data in sort of cube environments and using some new technologies that are out there, solid state technology, et cetera, so that we can process and deliver those insights fast.
Very good. Well, thank you so much for all the information today, Steve.
Great. Thank you, Sarah.